I'm back. I am live, and we are here on Wednesday evening, another evening stream, and we're still working on our save station. So, where did we get up to last time? Last time, we actually we made a lot of really good progress last time. We have the ability to actually respawn. The animations are set up correctly. There's a different state that's getting picked up when we load the game. There's a lot of really good stuff in here, but there's still quite a number of things we need to do to make this like feature complete. First things first, not all the buttons work. There's a number of things, as we discussed, that we want this save station to do, and those are, if I can make this visible, I don't even know where this is. Where does this live? Zoom out. That's right, because I have a high definition UI. We've got regenerate, which is our heal. We've got our mods, so we have to somehow be able to edit our mods in this menu. We have to also fast travel, which is like gonna be hard, and we also have to like just leave. I don't even think that works right now. Quodamar, welcome. I put this jumper on. It's already way too hot. Oh my goodness. Get out of here. It might be winter in Australia, but this room, it is not winter. Let's quickly review the state, and then we'll look at some of the easier ones to do. Leave. Look at leave. And yeah. Yeah, we'll make the buttons work, and then we'll worry about the way they look. Turn off the sound. So, we have lighting on as well, which we don't really need. One of the things that we also need to look at is like getting our character to go into the right spot, because he doesn't really do that right now. And then the icon needs to change. I think it really should just be like a highlight. But anyway, we're at the station now, and it's fine. We hit regenerate, and we go and we heal. Okay, everything is working. I don't even think leave works right now. Nothing else works. None of these buttons do anything. You press escape, that happens. That's weird. It shouldn't be like that. I don't think there's any other problems. Let's just die real quick. Okay, looks pretty normal to me. Yeah, you end up in the wrong spot. Okay, so we can start by fixing that, which is pretty easy. I think I created an area 2D. So this is the player marker. Call this the player marker. Okay, and this is basically just going to mark the spot where the player is, essentially, and we can just work this into the animation player. So for not idle, but player at save station, the player is over here, right? So we can animate that, transform, right? And then for all of the open with player, so excuse the noise. This, we could really just animate this at any point, but I'll put it there. And since the player isn't seen, so this is all like baked animations, we can sort of fake the way that the player goes in and out, essentially. And then I also want to make the interaction area like a little bit bigger, because it's kind of small at the moment, and that's kind of annoying. Okay, let's save that. Okay, so those are really the only two spots. Open with player, I'm pretty sure gets called in every single instance of when you heal, fast travel, and when you get game over. So realistically, those are the only two ones that we need to, because we've got liquefy in. It doesn't really matter, because the player's not, like, even, you don't really need to animate this, like, it's fine, whatever. So yeah, basically what we want to do is when the player, we have the context of the player, right? So we can actually set their position. And what we'll do is essentially when you interact with it, you get a save game. You set the data, right? Hide sprite manager. When you hide sprite manager, he's disappeared. So then you can go, we also need to get access to the marker. So we can create an export variable for that. Export for player position marker. It's a marker 2D and it's equal to nothing. We take that and here, after we've hidden the player, we can say player.global position is equal to global position of the player marker position. Okay. So when we save the game, we'll put him in the right spot. And so then when you leave, you'll be in that spot. And then when you actually release player, right before we show the sprite, we're going to say player.global position equals player marker position marker dot global position, right? Easy enough. Now the one thing that we do need to check is when we open with player, see how we've got release player here? This is this function here, that's what we're calling. We need to make sure that this is like before that. So we'll put that at the start of the animation, so it's just taken care of. And yeah, we should be fine after that. I don't anticipate any issues, but I guess we'll find out. And then the other thing as well, when we exit save station, so when you press the escape button, what happens? UI cancel, exit save station. And we save menu height and we reload safe level. Okay, so we don't need to reload safe level. We don't call this here. But that does make me wonder. Actually, you know what? We need a separate exit save station actually is what we're calling when we like liquefy player, right? Let's have a look. Liquefy in with player. We're calling exit save station. So we're using this to like sort of control when to load the level, but we don't really want to do that. Giric Dev, hey, how's it going? Welcome. We can just call save menu hide, honestly. So exit save station, save menu dot hide, and then what is the other function that we call here when we open with player? Release player. Okay. Okay. Easy. Right, let's see what happens. Okay, so now we crash, of course. Global position on object nil. We don't have access to what the player is, or we do. Oh, that classic. Never. I forgot to set the marker. We'll do that. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Invalid assignment of vector 2 in position. Is the player null? The player is null. Release player. When did we, if in save menu, we should have access. We should have the player at that point. Why don't we? So, hang on a second. When do we get access to that? Player equals body. Good evening. Hello, yes it is evening for me. Player equals null. Bone Circuit, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome, Kara. Yeah, I don't know about that. So those are the only two we're doing that. Player equals player. Why would the player be null? It's 4:70. It's 4:27 a.m. for me, just so you can appreciate how fucked up my sleep schedule is. Yeah, that's you're like half an hour away from the time I normally wake up in the morning. Dude, I would be so tired. The ducks aren't even up yet. Players null. So I guess the area 2D is exited. I stay up till the birds wake up and feed them every morning. Nice. Do you sleep during the day then? Go back to that. Save ready false. Okay, so we can still keep the context of the player. I just don't sleep. It's official. You have vampire fans. Yeah. I don't know if I could manage. Oh. The position of the player is not the same as the position of the... okay, so the other thing we need to do is on release player, we need to call reset for the animation player, which is fine. Not exit save station, release player. Here. It varies. Sometimes I'll go to bed early and leave the seeds and the nuts out. Nice. Where are we? Player animation player? No, it's not called the character. Okay, what the... I'm forgetting everything. My brain is just not in it this morning. Today. I said this morning. This evening. Save sprite player. Okay, fucking what a name. I don't have a schedule, so it's essentially random. I think that's like pretty... It's not... it's hard to get to sleep, right? Like if you don't have a schedule. I think that's how you do it. Okay, so we play reset. The position of the marker is no good. Let's fix that. It really would be better if the player position was on the floor rather than... But I think I've tried that, and honestly, it's way worse than just setting this. Yeah, I've heard that whole, like, in the old days we used to sleep for 2 sessions, and waking up mid-sleep. I'm actually really skeptical about that because I do sometimes wake up in the middle of the night, you know, but I go back to sleep like instantly. You know what like I can't see myself waking up for that and getting out of bed. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to. And I go to bed like not super early. I try to go to bed by 10 o'clock. Right? So if I was waking up at like 3 a.m., like I'm not that keen to stay up for an hour or two. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to sleep. I don't know. One day I'd like to try it. In the old days, you know, like before, is it before lights? Like what's the argument? I don't get it. I've seen a bunch of those Instagram reels though. I think it was before unnatural light, yeah. Or at least like they had candles and stuff like that, probably. So this needs to go up. I've been having problems where I wake up re-energized after 3 hours. Yeah, so like apparently that's normal. Right. I believe it's 10 the character is 20 pixels tall. The way that I remember it is that you gotta make sure that this is on the line. So if I do that, then that should be fine. No, I obliterated my circadian rhythm, not normal. Code straight away. And when that vibe takes you, Wu Wei, effortless action. I like your thinking. Open with player. And also player at save station. One more. Key that in. Open with player. Okay. I like do that, but it's actually harder to work when you've only slept for 3 hours. Go figure. Yeah. I believe you. That's actually one of the reasons why I became so strict with my sleep schedules, because like I had to wake up early from one of my first jobs when I worked at a factory, doing finance for a factory, but I still had to wake up early. And then like it just was easier if I got into the habit of waking up at 5 a.m. every day. But that also means you need to go to bed like kind of early. But then at least when you have to go to work at 6 a.m. and have to do like intense finance, like doing stock takes and like just a lot of counting and stuff like that, it sucks. But like you can still be like semi-alert for it and not completely fucked. I think it kind of worked. Plus it also helps like Queensland, where I live, it's like everyone wakes up early. Earliest risers in the world over here. Full contact accounting. Yeah, it really was. It's funny you say that, because it's like it's the most like textbook accounting that you can do when you work in a factory, because for some reason all the textbooks use factories as an example for accounting. I don't know why. I guess it's because it's tangible. And then like I ended up working in one, so it was like, oh yeah, cool, I can draw on all the examples and stuff like that. But yeah. Let's see if this worked. We're still a little bit too low. Double-sided vaporeal ledger. Vaporeal. I don't even know what that means. Okay, so we're still fucking wrong on this. What is the size of the gizmo? 10. So I thought it'd be enough, but I guess it's not. That's all as a character. It would be better, right? Like if the character sat up here. In theory, I don't know how much that screws up with my game. I haven't done a git push. Maybe I'll try that after. I'll do a push. I can't do it on this computer, and then move him up, because it'll be a lot easier when we're doing these kind of cutscene stuff for him to just be the 0 is the floor, so that when I place a marker down, if I want the player to appear in a place, it's on the floor. Just place the marker on the floor, and that's where the player will be. I think this makes a lot more sense. Jitspo, hello, shout out. J-I-T, I gotta spell this out, hang on. S-P-O-E, am I spelling that right? If I mess this up, it goes to the wrong person. Just place the marker on the floor and no one gets hurt. I hope you had a good stream. Welcome. What have you been up to? I hope you had a good stream. Oh, it's me. Software and game development. I'll give you a follow, bro. Thank you for stopping by. What are we making? We are making, let me just undo this so that we're making a Metroidvania. So I'll go into a AAA dev gone indie. Oh, wow. You're like the real deal. I am a finance guy gone indie.
All right. I got a little nut off.
Hey, thank you so much for the follow. Going into the Inkwell. Going to the Inkwell. Spent most of the streams checking out sound samples and VSTs. My favorite thing. VSTs. Oh, I've been really onto Sora Boy because obviously I'm making an 8-bit Metroidvania. It's really good. In fact, we can pause the background music and we can show it off. How about... Let me think for a second. Are things going to behave normally? It's always the question, isn't it? Let's just go mid camera rig. No, we want game objects, save station. This one here, because it's sitting below the floor and it's kind of ticking me off. I'll move it up by 2 pixels. Okay. Anyway, let's give it a go. Just call me Ivy or Inky. Hell yeah. Welcome, Inky. Thank you for the follow. Music off. I've been using Sora Boy to create all the 8-bit music. I guess it's fake chiptune. We have no like art or background. The character has a light on him, but it's not really doing anything at the moment. And we actually just spent like a bunch of time working on the music for this game because I wanted to like learn about Godot's stream interactives and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I don't know what kind of game you're making, Jitspo, but this one is good. This Sora Boy is good for this. Yours looks a lot more complicated. It's not 8-bit, so it's not going to suit, but... So one of the coolest things I like about the way that music player works in Godot is you can control like the different sequences, which I've been playing around with. So this is like Mega Man crossed with Silk Song, I guess. I apologize if the music is too loud. Oh god. Those guys are super annoying. I need to tune them. We also have powers, but I forget how to activate them. I don't know. I need to look into that. Thank you. Hit the road. Okay, so that is basically it. I mean, honestly, there hasn't really been much in terms of development. We're still working on a couple of things. The save station has been our latest creation. When you save a game in a Metroidvania, you have to, you know, go to the bench. You go to the save station, and we've got ours here. And canonically, when you heal yourself in this game, you are actually turning yourself into your like base biology, like your base atoms. You're turning into primordial soup, and you're getting regenerated. And so it's not really you. We got a little bit of a flicker there, but soup me, please. Clone goo. Yes, exactly. And the same for fast travel. You're going to go down the pipes into the goo. But are you really you when you think about it? Yeah, exactly. We are just a collection of cells and atoms. Every moment you're changing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So is this just a sped up form of that? Or I think I'm actually like, for this particular project, it's going to be like, you know, parading as a philosophical question, but then it's just going to be like, no, you're just straight up dying. Later on, when you find the goop room, you will also find many leftover suits. But that might be scope creep because I don't know if I've got the time to create that. To soup or not to salad? Are there any loops in the goop room? Maybe. I don't know. Loops in the goop room. Goop loops? Goop loops. Almost sounds like Fruit Loops. Is that a game? Lone Wolf Studio. I just Googled it. I don't know why. It's a silly game you made? Oh, nice. Hell yeah, dude. Oh, is it like one of those rage games? That's cool. I am notoriously bad at those games, so I will steer clear of that. But I know some people love them. Alright. So, what we were doing is basically working on the positioning of our player. And I was sort of commenting on the fact that the marker, it needs to be elevated for the position of the player to show up in the right spot when we have this save station, because the animations for the save station are like, because it's a layering issue, right? We need the player to be behind the glass. It's all animated within the actual save station. So we just need markers to sort of keep track of where the player is and isn't. And it's proving kind of complicated because the player obviously isn't sitting on the 0 mark. Like, I think the player should sit up here and it would be a lot easier. But I'm not going to mess with that right now because I don't know what else that's going to affect in the game. So I think I'm going to wait until I'm back on the regular PC that I don't stream on, and we'll do a push to the GitHub before trying that, because it might not. I mean, yeah. I see. The problem is like I can move the sprite, but there's a lot to change around here. I don't know how it's going to change everything. The doors, I think, will probably break the most, but I think it'd be worth the change, to be honest. So yeah, I think this needs to come up like a couple of pixels. Just go like, so if this is the floor, 10 pixels should be enough. Is it just the positioning? Maybe it is just the positioning of the save station. Like, it needs to be sitting on top of the level. So this one here, our latest creation, because everyone in here in the chat definitely helping, not distracting you talk about birds. Hey, I like distractions, so I'm totally fine with that. And sometimes we come up with good ideas as well. Where's the other save station? Facility 2 was the level. No, it wasn't. It was facility. What? Where does this go? There's always one feature that somehow sneaks its way into the core of the game, and no one seems to know how it started, when it started, who started it. True. Where does this go? That's not. Where's the? Okay, that's not helpful. Oh well. I think it's facility 3. Yeah, it is. It's this room. It's not even really like a good room for a save station. It's just here for testing. So it is sitting on the floor. So why is it that this room here, the character got stuck? Is it? It's fine here. Maybe. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's just this marker here is not in the right position. Okay. Save station. Player. Sprite animation. And then we go to the player at save station, right? And this just needs to come up. So this is at Y7. No, that's the wrong way. 5. Apparently. Try again. I still get stuck. I'm stuck on the floor. What's going on? or literature, a system of cells interlinked within cells, interlinked within cells. What is going on here? I don't understand this comment. Hang on a second. A system or literature, a system of cells interlinked within cells, interlinked within cells, interlinked within one stem, a dreadfully distinct. I don't understand. I think it's got to do with the goop getting slimed. We got problems with this. It's not working at all how I intended it to do. I think the escape button might be like actually leaving the station without sliming yourself is broken, because this works fine, right? And then I'm free to leave, but this, and then I press escape, I no longer can interact. I might not be released, but if I press up, I can interact again. So maybe the problem is not the position of the player, but the actual not actually releasing the player. So let's jump back in and find out what happens. So when we release player.show sprite manager, we also need to call player.release. I don't know why that wants a resource. I really need to research why I did that. Yeah, we weren't actually releasing the player, so the player couldn't do input. So now if I press escape, I'm good to go. Okay. Happy days. Okay, that's interesting. So so basically I'm pressing escape twice. What player needs to be set as null. And also not player is null, but actually save ready, it needs to be set to false. No, but that won't work because then we won't be able to press up. Okay, so yeah, that is an interesting conundrum. Because we still can save, but if do we need a separate variable for that? If in save menu UI cancel, we're still technically in the save menu. Where does this get set to true? When we interact, it never gets set to false. Okay, well that's a bit silly, isn't it? That is the variable that we would be using. I think here, actually not even here. Actually yes, here. No. I'm an idiot. I'm reloading the level at that point, so it actually doesn't matter, which is why it hasn't been a problem until now. But if I press release player and I haven't actually reloaded the level, we 100% need to say that not save ready, but in save menu is equal to false, because we're no longer interacting with the save system. But we can still, because what we want to do is preserve the ability to be able to actually press the up button again and continue to save. Like if you just accidentally press escape or whatever, you can press up again. But now if I press escape again, I'm not getting hit with the reset. So I'm not going to get like repositioned, because I guess the marker just has like a reset position in front of the actual tube that goops you. So okay. And then there's there. It's a little bit like, obviously you kind of want like in between animations, between going in and coming out and stuff like that. There's a bunch of polish that we could do here, but I'm just not going to do it right now because that's a lot of work. And even with the menu, obviously it's not particularly good. I have to use the mouse. I have a rule where I don't really want to use the mouse. Something else that's a little bit interesting. So if I am here, I press escape now. And if I press escape again, I also can't show the pause menu. right? Which you want to be able to see. If you're, as long as you're not interacting with this, so I'd say there's a variable somewhere. I wonder, that's just because I go into a new room, I reload the menus or I reload the variables. I actually don't know why I can do it here. Is it just the room I'm in? It's until I interact with it. And then I can't do it, okay. Look, shadows that are actually working, that you would expect them to work that way. Damn. Looks kind of cool. I still have to do a lot of work on that. Like, obviously we don't have any normal maps. But this does look pretty cool, I guess. Kind of trippy. Okay, so let us. What do we want to look at? Okay, the other buttons. Let's focus on the buttons because the rest of them are meant to do something. The easiest one is obviously leave. That just does the same thing that escape does. There's a famous shape that can make shadow problem impossible to solve. What shape is that? It looks like an H. Oh. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So if I make an H, will it break the shadows? Where was the room where the shadows are working? The shadows are working in this room. Let's make an H. Let's just clear out some space for an H. Go one more. Actually, it needs to be 5. Then we have a middle, so like a shape like that. And then
Right.
hide this.
I got a little nut off.
Hey, thank you so much for the follow, Impjar. Chuck him up there. And then rebake the navigation. Okay, so this is the impossible. The impossible. Okay. Let's see what happens then, shall we? I don't really understand why it's impossible. Also, camera's kind of funny. Camera's behaving funny. So, like, I'm noticing some shadows in some interesting places now that I've added the light to the player. Let's add some, control that, change abilities. Let's give ourselves wall jump and wall slide. Let's give ourselves all the abilities, actually. Penrose box, the topology of the room makes it impossible to light. Ugh, I can't walk under it, that's kind of annoying. Look, I'm inside it. That sounds right. Penrose box. What is a Penrose box? Let's have a look. Let's Google debunk it. Oh, Penrose box woodworking. Ah, a tribe Penrose images. I don't get it. I used to have one of these on the graphic design textbook I had in high school. I thought it was called something else. This thing. Roger Penrose, sir, mathematics topology expert. I'm sure he's a great guy. I see. It's like on the outside and then suddenly on the inside. Which I couldn't create like in the game. I don't think that's it. Oh well. How to draw an impossible square. Yeah. Probably not. Oh well. Anyway, there's a shape that light can't reach. Okay. And I probably can't create it in this software. Should I just leave the H in? Let's get rid of that. Man, this room needs some work. The whole level design of this game needs some work, but let's focus in. Godot can. I'm sure Godot can, but like the way that I've currently got things set up, I doubt, you know? Okay, so save station. All right, we're looking at the buttons, which are super boring, but I know we do this. Leave. So if we create a function for our escape, which is here, if UI cancels, we do this. I'm lost. So we go func, leave, save station. And then, yeah, we just go void. And then we just put all of this in here and then delete and call that function instead. Now that when we connect that button up, button pressed, connected to that, we could have connected it directly to that function, but that's kind of messy. So I'll just connect it like that. A bit easier to read that way. Okay. So that's 2. Fast travel. This is really hard. I know that we set up the infrastructure for it, but like the UI is going to be a pain in the ass. The mod button is another thing that we need to do. I think. So like if I think about the menu here and how I want it to behave, it's a bit tricky because what I think should happen is essentially we probably need to put this over on the left-hand side, and we've got like some... Yeah, this is going to be tough. I mean, we could animate it so that it moves over to the left, you know? So like, but like fast travel and mods probably need more UI space, right? Because the mod menu looks like... So we've got the fast travel menu. And then in this, we can actually... We've got the mod menu already. I don't know how standalone it is. I try to make everything kind of standalone, but, you know, sometimes you don't always follow the rules you set for yourself. I don't even know what the scene is called. Is it in-game menus and overlays, in-game menu, and then we've got the mod chip menu? What does it have as a dependency? Nothing really. I think we're good. Like we could just take this. What's this scene called? Mod chip menu? Right? Where's the save station? Ugh. And then just drop it into this tab container. Toggle visibility, it's like not... We close some stuff. Map menu, camera rig, menu, facility, save and close, in-game menus and overlays, mod chip menu. Why is there nothing here? Is the mod chip menu really that empty until like the game runs? That makes sense, I think. It doesn't get populated until the ready function. Okay. So we just have to hope and pray that works. So I guess we could signal out to the save station menu, which has all the buttons. Signal out to that for the mod button. So when you press that, pressed save station menu, and then we get into this. We probably need to get access to the menu on ready. Mod menu is a mod chip menu. It's an object like that. So that works. Just make it export actually. In here, do that, save that. Okay, so then we can just say mod menu.show. Honestly, I'm not too sure how this is going to play out. Have a look. Tab container's invisible, so we're not going to be able to see it anyway. So do we have any access to that? Fast travel, regen button. Let's just do quick and dirty. Tab container.show. Something like that. Yeah, player data on base object type nil. Set mod chip list. Game data, player data. Why would that not work in this context but would work in the other context? Player data on base object. So the player doesn't even exist in the game state. In-game menu, for some reason, doesn't have an issue with that. It's a tree issue. 100% is a trait. It's a tree issue. This is lower in the tree. And so it's trying to access that information before the game state even has it. And there's not really a way for me to retroactively call that back. I could make it wait for like a second. Is the cheap way to do it. I don't want to do that long term, but I'm just trying to get it to run. Yeah, I hate that option. But I'm gonna do it just for the sake of getting it to go. So await get tree dot create timer, like 1 second is fine, dot timeout. And it'll go. Okay. So if I press mods, what happens? I mean, it shows the menu. We just... Oh, and we can even like access the mods. Damn. That's so cool actually. So if I add all the mods, and how do I get away from this? Okay, cool. Wait. Oh yeah, we've actually got the power up on it. Damn. Okay, so I did correctly. That makes me so happy to know that like I did actually follow my rules, and it is set up in such a way that I can just drop that menu on a different, like in a different context, and it will still work. Sans the issue with it being like the tree ordering issue is obviously a bit of a thing. So wait, oh, I don't actually have the power up to cling to walls, so the wall magnet ability isn't. If I just add all of that. Yeah, okay, sweet. That's so cool. So yeah, we've got the mod ship menu. I can't actually get to the center one, which is kind of funny. And then we have the fast travel menu as well. But realistically, what we want to do is probably we need to get better control of menus and stuff like that. That's something I need to look into. I've been meaning to for like months now, but I just couldn't be asked, you know. Oh, I love the speed boost power up actually. I want to go test it out somewhere. It really isn't that fast. Maybe I ruined it. Disable the music a second. I don't know. Too many particles. Okay, we still have all the power-ups and stuff when we save and... Okay. Happy days. Okay, so the mod menu just works like that. It just looks like trash. And then this I don't really like, but I can't think of a better solution right now. Because I would need to, like, fixing that structural issue is kind of hard. What would probably work better is if, like, the game state had context and it could send out a signal to anything that requires the player. But it's like kind of hard. So I'm just not going to bother with it right now. What are the chances that the player needs to access that within the first 1 second that they start up the game? I don't know. Maybe just like add like a little note. Like, to do, fix this eventually. Structure. Okay. Await bad, and you should feel bad. Okay. All right. Okay, so what else are we needing to do? The fast travel. The fast travel is really the other option, and then like contextual, like menu controls and stuff like that, like giving ourselves a button. Probably changing the way this looks because this is like a full screen, and it kind of sucks. So we could just like the way this whole thing is a margin container. We could do like a HBox container. HBox container with both of these in it. This one first. And then this one second. Right? And then that is set to expand. This will work for now. Like, at least be much more readable. The button we want is for it to expand. Or is that what we need to do here? Layout, container sizing. Okay. Current tabs. So yeah, the document the other day, part 2, diagram 2, sloppers take more shots at the pot, but also give up. Oh yeah. What was the link for that? What was the name of the article? I didn't look at that. This is part 2. Maybe it can just be in my history. I don't really use Oh, hang on, no, I've been browsing Sendico, so it's actually kind of messed up. 3 years of AI on Steam Solkahara. That's right, thank you. On the Substack. Part 2. Okay, so if you weren't aware, someone, Solkahara, has been studying the success or failure rates and just the data around AI on Steam, something that we're curious about. And they've done a full census study of AI disclosed games on Steam. And what we found in the first part is that a majority of the increased number of releases on Steam, like the number of human-made games or fully human-made games, is so hang on, like it's probably easier if I just show the first one, because this was the major finding, right? Like you see the yellow or brown or whatever is non-AI games and how many were released in each segment. And then this is the AI games. And you can see, like, obviously over time we're getting more releases on Steam, but the number of human-made games has stayed mostly the same, right? Is that what we're saying here? I think that's what we said. The launch boom is an AI boom, okay? Steam release volume has grown a lot, but the growth isn't evenly spread. Non-AI launches have only risen modestly from 1,000 to 1,300 per month, while AI flag launches went from a rounding error to 530 a month. So a lot of this whole, you know, like I'm sure if you're on like X or Reddit, you can always hear people say that oh, you know, there's like, you know, 20,000 games per year or whatever, but like a lot of them now are just AI slop. So not to worry. What will we find in part 2? Part 1 established the shape of the wave. AI disclosure went from 1% of releases, less than 1%, to 1 in 3 after Valve's 2024 mandate. Most AI games make almost nothing, and disclosed AI is overwhelmingly art, which I thought was pretty surprising, because I thought you'd get a lot of people disclose. Here's what I think, actually. I thought when I saw this, I was expecting that a lot of the disclosure was actually going to be like code assistance, right? But it's mostly art. And there's a part of me that thinks a lot of people just don't disclose that they use AI for their coding. They just don't do it, because it's like, if it's man-made art, no one's going to know that the code you wrote for your game is done with AI. So you can get away with not disclosing that. I don't think there's a way that people would find that out unless they decompiled your game, which I guess if you're using Godot is not that hard to do, or Unity, to be honest. But there's a level of plausible deniability I would expect when it comes to that. I'm actually not too sure. People in the chat probably know better than me whether or not you can get away with that, because I've basically never used AI aside from getting it to write a couple of emails for me in 2023. I kind of just never felt like it did enough for me to commit. So I just never really got on board, and then I wasn't particularly happy with the direction it was going anyway at that point. So who is actually making all of this? The theory going in was that AI is democratizing development, lowering the barrier so more people ship games. The data backs it in a specific way. The number of people arriving to publish non-AI first games has been flat, even slightly declining at roughly 950 a month. Number of people arriving to publish non-AI first games has been flat? Oh wow, okay. Even slightly declining? How do you tell a human exactly? You know, I'm sure if you decompiled a game, you'd be able to see the signs, because AI writes things a certain kind of way. You can tell when an AI has written words, right? I'm sure some people could tell pretty quickly that AI has written the code. But yeah, and not everyone's going to see that. So like gamers aren't necessarily going to pick up on that. Like gamers can tell when there's, you know, people figure out that there's a poster in the background of Expedition 33 that was made with AI, you know what I mean? Because they can see it, but you can't see the code. Not without doing some extra legwork. Every bit of growth pool of new developers is AI. AI debuting newcomers went from 140 to 440 a month. So 100% of the net growth in new Steam developers is AI driven. Without AI, the influx of new creators would be flat. AI isn't converting the existing pipeline so much as expanding it. Damn, that's crazy. Images are easy to tell because of the patterns, but even those aren't like fully definitive necessarily. That's a good point, because a lot of people just start saying, hey, this looks like AI, and then eventually the developer comes forward and says, yeah. The dev has to draw blood and upload the home goop machine to prove his code is true. Maybe at some point, yeah, it would be like that. I don't know. Like, is there going to be a way that you can validate it? Are we going to get a stamp of approval? Do you know back in the day when like, you know, back in the early days, like in the 90s, you got the Nintendo stamp of approval on like Nintendo 64. I don't know if they were doing it back in the SNES days. Actually, they might have been SNES and NES days. You got like the stamp of approval to say that it was like a genuine Nintendo game. Are we going to get that for like organic pixels? It's going to be like, yep, this game is 100% human made. There was no AI like used in the process of it. Not even for code. Like, is there going to be a stamp? Can we send it off to get validated somewhere? That'd be cool. People would always try to circumvent the process, I suppose. But democratization doesn't mean disposable one-offs. Okay, so this is the whole thing about like AI developers only really make one game. 100% Amish video games? Kinda. I mean, this just goes to prove that most people just release one game, right? Even if they are using AI. Because like, I can't see AI developers actually a bit more prolific. Disposable comparing catalog sizes. AI, yeah, they do make more games than just users. Like individuals are one and done, because it does take a lot of effort to make a game, and if you don't make any money and your goal was to make money, I think there's a lot of people who think this is a cash cow when it's really not. True devs give up in this era, yeah. AI developers are less likely to be one and done traditional ones, 78 versus 86%, and more likely to ship 2 games. AI lowers the barrier to not just make games, to make several. It's kind of sad, really. Which also feeds the shovelware tale. The 5+ bar is higher for AI devs. 3%. Discouraged after the first attempt. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? I think a lot of people get their hopes up. They make their dream game and then no one plays it. That said, sloppers don't care. Like they're out here just like, okay, well, I just got to keep trying until I hit. AI spam factory story is mostly wrong. Okay, the AI isn't just shovelware mills, it's flat across output volume. 1 game, 2 games, 5 to 9, 10 to 19. Oh my god, 20+ games. AI share is remarkably flat across output volume. AI's share is remarkably flat across output volume. A developer with 20+ games is only slightly more likely to use AI than a one-off dev. AI is far more a story of thousands of first-timers than a few high-volume mills. And at the publisher level, it's a mile wide and an inch deep. Wow, okay. All AI is a mile wide and an inch deep. 80% of publishers have 0 AI games. Okay. The shape of AI writing. I mean, there is a kind of a shape, I guess. 37,000 distinct publishers in the census. Of the 7,500 that shipped any AI games, the overwhelming majority shipped exactly 1. They're not that different. Do players like them? That is a valid question. Ratings come straight from the store pages. Okay. For 26,000 games with enough reviews to have one. AI games rate lower, but not catastrophically. Mean score review is 77% positive versus 81% for non-AI. Median 80% versus 85%. 71% of the AI games clear mostly positive against 80% of non-AI. Okay, so it's a 10%, penalty. It's a real consistent penalty of 4 to 6 points, not a collapse. Yeah. So it doesn't mean like, because I mean, prior to reading this, I would have been like, yeah, well, if you use AI, you're going to get like review bombed. But like realistically, that's not that bad. You know what I mean? Especially if you're getting to that point, you're already making money. So I don't know. This makes me feel really bad, you know? The review score barely moves with popularity, but AI trails at every level. Yeah, but it's not that much. Like, I want the gap to be bigger. Players don't care. Fun is fun. Yeah, you're right. 100%. Like, at the end of the day, especially once the stigma lifts, because right now there is a bit of a stigma. You can tell by this. But, like, if the game is fun, the game is fun, man. I think in the last one we saw that they make less money. I can't remember. It's just about the idea. That's all that matters. A game's rating is essentially independent of its review count. AI games trail non-AI in every popularity bucket. The lone exception is the 1,000+ bucket where AI edges ahead. Okay. Would you like to know the truth or stay in the blue pill realm, Neo? We've already lost the war. That's basically it, isn't it? Okay, is AI content cheaper? Did addicts care moving from real to synthetic opium? I mean, they probably don't because they're desperate either way. But yeah, it's a fair point. I mean, analogy aside, like I know plenty of people who used to smoke cigarettes, and in Australia they're very, very expensive because the government just doesn't want us to do that anymore. And they just switched to vape because it was cheaper and sort of not regulated, and then that became regulated, and they switched to other things. Like they're just going online, finding whatever they can. There's black market tobacconists. No one cares. They just want their nicotine, and they want it for less. Dopamine drip is the business. As long as the red pill has nothing to do with women. Yeah, exactly. Not that red pill. Let's stay far away from that. Modestly, median paid AI games $4.99. Okay, so they are cheaper versus $5.99 for non-AI games. AI games are overrepresented in the sub $5 tier and underrepresented at $20. Okay, so I guess AI game makers still feel bad about the fact that they're using AI. Free-to-play rates are similar. Okay. Where does AI cluster? Not evenly. Tagging each game by community tags measured by the AI rate within. Trading card game. I've been contacted by a few trading card games to like, they're like, play them on stream. I'm like, what are you talking about? No one will watch. I'm not even like, I think it would be fun if I thought like maybe, maybe if I play like an AI game, we could make fun of it or whatever. Like it, but then I don't think that would, like, people aren't here to watch me play games, you know? AI concentrates in text, card, and system-heavy genres. Ask them for money and say yes if they say yes. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's all paid, I think. I don't like taking too many... I think a lot of them aren't real. You know what I mean? These are genres that lean on generated text and template card assets. Yeah. On the nose winner is literal artificial intelligence tag. The flip side is more telling. Here are the well-populated genres AI avoids running 3 to 6%, 3 to 6 times below baseline. No one's making AI Metrovanias. Okay. So no one's making like, yeah, because it's image generation games. Like if you look at this is like trading card games, shopkeeper. This is all like static images on screen, right? More than these sprites and whatever, 3D potentially. 3 patterns fall out. They hold even on huge samples. Handmade artistry. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Tight skill-based design. Twin stick shooters. Difficult beat 'em ups. Genres built on hand-tuned level and movement. Yeah, they don't have the patience for it. It's hard work. I've been learning that myself. Local play and VR. Portrait wear. Yeah. It makes sense. Like, before I realized there was like an ethical issue with this, because like early days, I don't think, like I wasn't really thinking about it. Like I was dabbling with AI. I was using it to generate textures, and I was using, what is it called? The one that you can host on your own machine. I forget the name of it now, but it was self-hosted because that's the kind of person I am. And I was generating textures and learning about like how that all gets put together. And it's like, yeah, I can see as an indie the value there, right? Like it does, like there is something there where if you were making like a game, especially like static images, it would be very easy to do. You know what I mean? But yeah, then you start, when you think a bit more about it and the problems with it, especially when it comes to copyright, like copyright, like I'm concerned about the working aspect of it. Like we're just killing an entire industry off, which isn't good. It's going to come for all of us eventually, but high entropy stuff, you will go to heaven. Low entropy stuff, Mickey Mouse doing something naughty, do not pass jail. Clustering is one thing, succeeding is another. Taking AI games only and plotting each genre by its review score against commercial success rate. Wait, hang on a second. Which genres are AI games do best and worst? Commercial success rate. Higher is better? Immersive sim? Who's making immersive sims with AI? But management. Yeah, it makes sense. Visual novel. It makes sense. Median review score. Wait. Oh, this is percentages. Wait. Review score? Commercial success rate. There was one really successful game. I don't know. It didn't review. I don't understand this. Custom experiences? Yeah. Oh, true. Yeah, you can use AI to create a dynamic response from players, from NPCs, yeah. The striking result is decoupling between what sells and what's liked. AI sells in content-hungry systems and niche genres, simulation management, building life, dating sims, plus dedicated audience niches, sexual content. That's so gross. These have big content appetites that generation helps fill, and buyers who value depth over polish. Yeah, that's yikes. That's all I got to say about that. Okay, AI rates best exactly where it sells worse. AI platformers, precision platformers, yeah, and side scrollers score 86 to 90% positive. Genuinely well made, yet almost never breakthrough. Okay, so maybe they're just using it for assets and they're actually good game designers. ChatGPT Rempire games. Pixel Ixels. Yeah. I've never understood the appeal personally, but you know. So for AI games, a high rating and commercial success rarely comes together. The best-selling AI genres and are mediocre rated system adult titles. Okay, and the highest rated AI genres are commercially dead ends. Commercial dead ends. Okay, yeah, commercial dead ends like Metroidvanias and 2D platformers. Thanks. Nah, I know that. I knew that. I knew that going in. Don't worry. Okay, a handful of surprising correlations. Combining ratings, publishers, language, and other fields turned up several things worth flagging. The more you charge for AI, the harder your players punish it. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. No one would want to, like, imagine paying $100 for a game that was made with AI. What the fuck? $20+. Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Review scores fall with price for everyone, but the AI gap widens from 3 points in the cheap tier to 8 points at the $20 plus. Players shrug at $3 games, $3 AI games. They resent paying a premium for one. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because it's like, you know that they cut corners. It costs them less to make the game. And they're charging more. They're charging a premium for it. Like 20 USD is a lot of money. Okay, a publisher roughly doubles AI commercial odds. AI games are more often self-published than non-AI, but AI titles and land a third-party publisher reach 3K sales, 16%. Even though self-published AI games are rated slightly higher, publishers... Yeah, okay, so I mean, that does make sense. Yeah, non-AI? Land a third-party publisher reach 3K sales. So they sell more, even though self-published rates slightly higher. Because yeah, it makes sense to me that if it's like from a bigger company, the people don't like that. People know intuitively that there is like an issue when a large company is using AI for profit. I think, like, even if they don't like have that mindset, they can tell that that's why should I pay for Robot Dreams? Yeah, exactly. Whereas they might be more forgiving if it's an individual. Even if it's not really an individual, if it's self-published and they don't know the developer, they might perceive it as being an individual, which they can self-justify by saying, well, it's just one guy, it's kind of hard for him, like maybe he's not that good at art or coding or whatever. Meth heads hallucinate too. Do they? I've never tried. Actually, saying that, I was driving on a country road on the weekend and there was a lady just wandering in the center of the road and it freaked me the hell out. And she looked like she was tripping. And yeah, I don't know. I just kept driving. I probably should have been like, are you sane or crazy? I didn't do anything. I was too bewildered by it. I was like, what the heck? She was dancing in the middle of the road. Fun fact, the word hallucination is not correct. It's confabulation. Really? I believe you. Confabulation. When did you drive past me? Do you dance in the road often? On a country road in southeast Queensland. There's no learning curve. Okay, comparing AI developers' first game to their later ones, their commercial success rate is flat to down. Rating barely moves. Okay, repeat AI devs ship more, not better. Okay. AI games are more standalone. They're less likely to have DLC. Yeah, because they don't give a fuck about their game. More one-shot products with less ongoing support. Yeah, I can't even... Like, how do you even, like, troubleshoot something? How do you fix stuff when it's an AI-written game? I wouldn't even know. One myth they didn't hold, AI store descriptions aren't lazier, they're slightly longer. Okay. Yeah, because the AI can write it, so you don't... Yeah. Okay, barely dense. I share a top 10 versus all releases. Yeah, that makes... Commercial reality. Okay, one more angle on the commercial reality. Rank each month's releases by review count and bestseller proxy and look at the top 100. Only 9% of those top 100 games are AI flagged, and the gap to the overall release rate keeps widening. By mid-2026, 30% of all releases are AI, but only 11% of the month's top 100 games or top 100 biggest games are AI flagged. Okay, so they kind of suck, I guess. I mean, that's probably going to change eventually. A slopped game, however, from version 1.1 to 1.2 could be wildly different and completely change the code base because the machine said so. Yeah, I feel like it would be a nightmare. It's hard enough on my own. Oh, God. A common belief tested. Okay, let's have a look. The internet has a lot of confident takes about AI and Steam. Here's how they hold up. Strongly supported. AI is flooding Steam. 100%. 1 in 3 new games is AI flagged. 60 to 90% of the growth in releases is AI. And non-AI output is flat. So that's like the big takeaway. This part is good, yeah, because it summarizes everything. AI is democratizing who makes games. All net growth in new developers is AI. The traditional newcomer stream is flat. Right. So more people are making games, I guess. AAA uses AI too quietly. Zoom in for effect. Zoom in here. Zoom in into my face. AI uses AI too quietly. EA Sports, F1 2025, Arc Raiders, Crimson Desert, and 0117 all flagged mostly with legal boilerplate. Developers downplay their AI use. 22% of successful because of non-AI output is already under crunch. How could it expand? I don't know. Could developers downplay their AI use? 22% of successful AI games add the flag after launch. Classic. Well, looking at you, Expedition 33. Disclosures are terse, and 40 to 60% use minimizing language. Paying premium for AI content gets punished. Yes. The AI rating penalty widens from a 3 point on a cheat game to 8 points at $20. It's all boilerplate if you keep prompting for it. True, good point. Okay. AI games are one-shot products, supported, less likely to have DLC or be a part of a franchise. Yeah, that makes sense because you can't repeat. The AI doesn't keep memory of that. Okay, mixed with caveats. AI games of slop, they rate 4 to 6 points lower. 72% of flops are art only, but mostly positive on average, not a disaster. So it doesn't necessarily lead to bad reviews, I guess. It doesn't, to me, it's like being poorly received doesn't make it not slop. If it's made with AI, you know, I don't know, to me that's just, it is slop. It's from the machine. You're like pulling, you know, like you're going up to the machine and just like pulling a lever and it's like spitting out some slop, you know? AI games don't make money. Historically, 2 to 4% of revenue for 22% of the games, though the recent quarters sales have climbed. Yeah, I think that's just going to go up over time and eventually it'll flatten out and be not true. Probably. AI games are cheaper, true, but a mild, it's $1. Just slop it. Disproved myths. Myths disproved. Sorry, that was a bit loud. Where's the Mythbuster stamp? Will liquefy the dead and feed it back to the living? Oh, that's what I'm doing in my game. AI are all shovelware from spam factories. AI is flat across output volumes. It's a first-timer phenomenon far more than a mill one. AI developers are throwaway one-off accounts. They're less one and done than traditional developers. Yeah, they're actually making more games more often, but are they good? It's questionable. Maybe. AI is concentrated in a few AI first studios. 80% of publishers have 0 AI games. Those that dabble almost always ship exactly 1. AI is everywhere. It's in every genre equally. No. It clusters in card economy text games and is nearly absent from craft signaling ones, hand-drawn, great soundtrack. Yeah, and we already discussed why that makes sense, because, you know, if you just need images or if you just need text, it's a lot easier to generate for a game like that. AI games have lazy thrown together store pages. No, their store descriptions are longer. It doesn't mean they're better. I actually disagree with this, because that doesn't mean that they're better. It just means that AI can write more. Like, I think if a human's going to do it, they're going to make it shorter, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. Known thines sloppany. Yes. Slop and me. I can't even say that. AI developers get better with practice, not commercially. A developer's later AI games succeed no more often than their first one. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Can't answer with this data whether AI costs anyone their job. I'd say it does, but I mean, it's more, you won't ever know that, because I think a lot of the stuff, like a lot of the people that are going to use AI, there might be small people that would otherwise, they're not necessarily hiring people, they're subcontracting that work. So it's not like you're going to know, it's just the people that would normally get subcontracted for that they're just not going to get as much work. And so it's not really going to be that obvious in terms of layoffs. Maybe that's my theory there. And so it's just like a depressor on the economy because there's employment issues. There's not employment issues, but there's like an income issue because people don't have as much work, so they're not spending as much money, which depresses the economy. So, you know, that will remain to be seen for some time, I think. Lots of old guys in my era dropped off and got other professions. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, yes, right? Like, a lot of people might just get other jobs, and so we might not even notice it. So they don't even register. Like, it's just a loss. Yeah, some guy working at some company, you know, like places where I work always have developers. And then they'll just be like, yeah, I used to do this or whatever. Now I'm working on maintaining the back end for some database or whatever that, you know. Some thoughts on this research. It's worth noting that the pictures painted by the data should not be taken as indicative. I mean, it's just interesting, right? Doesn't prove anything. I mean, it does show information, but it could change. I don't know. AI tooling is just that. Make great games still takes a great team with a vision, and I would say it's unlikely the current large language model path would ever get us to a point where a model can replace a human in this regard. Yeah, you still need to have good ideas. And that takes time, it takes people. So I think that's right. As I mentioned in this article, making games is incredibly hard for most projects, fail regardless of the tooling used. Yeah, that's it. It's like, even if you don't use AI, game I make might fail. That's fine. It's likely, actually. Making a great game usually takes a lot of time, whether AI is being used or not. Two best-selling games in Steam that have flagged AI are Crimson Desert and Arc Raiders. Crimson Desert took 7 years to make. There is a saying, it takes longer to describe it than it is just to make it. Yeah. Is that like if it's bad, if it takes longer to describe what it is? So the project started well before any AI tooling as we understand the term today. Arc Raiders took 3 years, so that project also started before any AI tooling was genuinely useful. Yeah, that game came out before AI did, so the AI flagged games we are seeing in Steam today are mostly pretty new. Okay. Good article. Well done, Solka Haro. Pictures, thousands, words. My menus suck. Okay. Wait, where am I going? All right. Data compression is intelligence. Maybe. I don't know. Container sizing. This is what I was looking for before. Okay, that makes sense. And then we go left. Right. Okay, so we got this. Yeah, so it's not all bad. No, I don't think so. It's not. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think you just have to have, like, you know, the lens on. I always say, like, I just do this for fun. And we have better comprehension after a few years. Yeah, we'll know. Like, I'm not worried about it because it doesn't affect my livelihood yet. I've got concerns in the back of my mind about, you know, the way the world is going with this AI stuff, and whether or not that comes to pass is, you know, sort of out of my control. At the end of the day. But yeah, I don't know. So if I do this and I go center and then I hide this, this comes back to the middle like this. See? Okay. So what we are going to do is got the mod chip menu, and when we make that visible, you don't see anything, but we need to add like a button probably not on the mod ship menu. Probably here. We need to like have something to escape with. Maybe if we just click the button. If we click the button again, then it'll make it disappear. Answering that question in code is kind of annoying. Because we have no concept. I guess we could say like if the tab container is visible, then hide the tab container. And the mod, like I don't know. Like, I don't know. So if tab container, I don't know if this worked, is visible. Accounting is already a proven deterministic and reliable system. Analyzing the data will be the next. Yeah, like what we do really as accountants is like, it's not just numbers, you know what I mean? Like, it's way more than that. Like, one of my primary responsibilities is sort of like, maybe not so much now, but like very often I've taken jobs where it's like, you have to actually design the internal like administration and how that works, and you, that's like the starting point, and then you define that and you work out from there, and then like once that's set up, yeah, you're maintaining it and you're answering questions about like, oh, how should this all be like structured? Can we make it faster? Like, you know, lately where I worked, it's like, can we go from like a 2-day, no, it was like a 5-day lead time on reporting to like a 2-day lead time on reporting. So it's not just like, we're not just crunching numbers. Yeah, there's maybe a day or two where I am, and maybe I could make that faster. It's kind of not very good at it, but you know, maybe. And yeah, the rest of it is a lot of like, I mean, there's a lot of diving through documents looking for paperwork, which AI could probably do a better job at than me. I don't know, like, you know, there's a whole bunch of stuff that maybe it could help me with, but I don't see it taking over the job right. Like, it's going to come from people who do like data entry and stuff like that, which is not what I do. So, you know, I'll be all right for now. Is visible is what I want to write here. If that is and that are visible, then tab container to hide? I don't know. And then return. I don't think this is gonna work. I feel like I'm kind of just like not doing it properly. And it's already visible. Hang on, stop this. We need to hide the tab container. I lost a job to a function, animation subsection in betweening. Oh, okay. Normal functions could consume industries as well before a faster AI race. Yeah. I mean, I've seen that happen as well. You know, as technology changes. Normal function. I mean, LERP took an industry. Damn, yeah, that's true. That's a very valid point. And I know from conversations that I've had with people, like as computers have advanced, right? Like I had a conversation with a guy. I was like interviewing for a job in Perth, and he was like, yeah, my first job I worked for like one of the one of the oil companies, because you know it's Perth. And he was like, yeah, we had a team of 30. And like, I don't think I've worked in teams bigger than 3. You know what I mean? Like, we just don't need that many people to do the job anymore. Because we have the technology to crunch the numbers way faster than we used to. Yeah, that's just not going to show up now. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is no good. Probably easier with a variable. Show me your data lake papers, please. Yeah. Oh my god, don't get me started. Oh yeah. People asking for paperwork drive me crazy. I mean, is it easier with a variable? I don't want to use like a million different variables. Is that I kind of like, I could just go like mod menu active. It's a bool and it's set to true. Yes, sometimes the easiest option is the option to use. Mod menu equals the opposite of mod menu. Struct it. I don't even know how to make. Can Godot do structs? I don't know. Mod menu active. This needs to start as false. Else. Tab container hide. I really need to like do some research on menu management. Oh well. Hello, I am Master Programmer Elemental. Hello, Program Master Elemental. Elemental Magic's card game? Damn. How's it going? How are you? What a name. Also, like, I defeat AI hypers and I was given dependent types by God to manifest my superiority. What is this, Temple OS? Yeah, I mean, it works. Wait. How do I get them to go off? No, Temple OS is weak? How do I remove menu? Wait, hang on a second. Ouch. Ouch. I can't remove the mods when I'm in that menu. I can only add them, I guess. I don't know. Take them all off. Hey! Look, there's debug. There's errors. Is it because of this? Why can't I click it? Magna grip gloves. And then I can't access the menu. I'm gonna fix that because that annoys the crap out of me. What? Okay. I just noticed a bug. So if this is a more important bug than what I was dealing with just now. I mean, they're both kind of issues, but okay, so if I kill the enemies, right, and I leave the scene, they're not supposed to respawn, right? And we already established that the enemies only respawn when you regenerate. So this shouldn't regenerate the enemies, right? Because we didn't regenerate, right? And so the enemies aren't here right now. They're gone. But if I leave the scene and come back, they're back. Which means we're clearing the data when we actually enter this state. When realistically, we should only clear the data when we click that button and get slimed. Right? And then the enemies should come back. Only then. And I think the issue is, technically we save the game the second you press up on this. The game is saved at that point, and typically in the game state, I believe, when we save the game, we clear the enemy list. So we need to do differently. Do something different. Also, we've got a bunch of errors that I've never seen before. Unequipped mod chip condition is inside tree is true. Okay. Interesting. something to think about. Log save request. Reset player position. Set current position. Where is like save game? Save state. This enemy list.clear is the problem here. We shouldn't do this until we actually save the game. So what are we calling in the save station? The save station calls, when we exit the save station, reload saved level. So I guess we just do it here. Is this used anywhere else? This is the question. We could also just have another function for this. Probably a better idea. Clear enemy data. Way safer. Just a single line. But at least it'll be clear about what's happening. And then in the save station, when we actually press the button, regen button pressed, clear enemy data, game state, clear enemy data. There we go. Nice. Okay, so that should be fixed. Save stations are a bit of a mess, eh? So we kill... That's too fast for that one. We come back, they're all gone. Except for the spikes. Spikes don't ever leave. We stop. When we leave this room, we should expect them to not have respawned, and they haven't. But when we regenerate, they will have. Oh, that was weird. Another bug. Okay, so everything's back. Let's just test for game over. So let's go die over here. So you can move when the game reloads and the enemies are returned, which is what we want. So another bug that we're finding here is when we reload the level, what we need to do, okay, we're in this fast state, on state, save station, reload. The player, once we get the context here, we need to go player.hold, right, so that the player can't move even though they're not visible. Because that's what was happening there. The player was actually just moving. You can't see it, but... so if we regenerate... And I'm pressing the directional keys on the keyboard to... Okay, so I was still able to get out of that. Huh. When do we call it release? Leave save station? When UI... Leave save station. How could we get out of that without... This is, we call release here. Let's just put a breakpoint on that. I need to understand the flow. It gets kind of challenging when you reload the level to make sure all the data's in the right place. Okay, so that is being called here. As soon as we reload, we've got the player character. The game's not even visible yet, I'm assuming. No, it's a blank screen. And we set the process. We've called hold, right? So, and hide weapon, all this stuff. Calling a bunch of functions on the player. Is the game visible yet? No, it's not. Where are we calling? Okay, we're back. We're back. We're back into the function. Game is still not visible. Is it even... Is level hasn't even loaded up yet? The player is still... You know what it is, I think? Like, we're calling initialize on the player. So there's an order of operations issue here. Where I think in the ready function of the player always gets called to be initializing and put it in like whatever state it's decided to go to. It should just be idle in this case. So like by the time, so even if we go to like the state machine, right? And you look at the, I don't even know if we can view it. We can't even see it here. Nodes, members, state machine, state map, and you look at the current state. I don't even know how you'd find the current state. Here we go. The node is inactive, right? Okay, so we're in the correct state. And then we get to this point. Okay, we're queuing up all the animations. Hello, Nighttime Crafts. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you doing? Okay, so we're in this state. The game is still not visible. Where is it? Dude, this is crazy. I don't even know. I've given up at this point. You can just walk away. Anyway, I think I know what it is. Player. Okay. So when we initialize a player, we do a lot of stuff. But it's mostly around setting the health and getting the data and making sure it's correct. But we also start the state machine. We set the process to true, we set physics to true. So, and we're calling this not because we don't ever delete the player even though we reload the level. So we call initialize player when we reload save level, right? In the game state. Player.start state equals idle. Where do we call it though? So we reload the save level, station get station. Oh, the game start calls it. So it gets a copy of the player and it puts it in the right place, basically. And here we call player.initialize player. So could we create a variable for whether or not the player is held? I guess we could. The initial state could also be something that we control in this. Like if we said that the initial state was inactive, then the player would no longer do that. But right now we're just setting it to idle. And we have a save station. We're reloading the save level. Perhaps I need to find out how often this is being called. It's just the save station. So that's the only place it's being called. So I think I can reliably say that this needs to start in inactive. I think that's the name of the state. It's not, that's not how it's spelt. Gotta spell it the same name, same way as the node is. Okay, so if we start in inactive, the player's not going to move. And once we hold release, then I think you get set back to idle. In theory. Okay, so we can move. We hit the regenerate. I'm pressing the directional key. We're hitting a breakpoint because I pressed a breakpoint. Okay, am I still got the breakpoint on? I don't know. Yes, I turn this breakpoint off, please, so I can actually test my game. Okay, try again. directional key, and we can't move, and now we can move. Okay, great. We fixed that. No problems. Maybe problems down the line, I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so we're back to the mods not working properly. So we can equip them, but we can't unequip them. Let's take a look. So we go to the mod menu. We have no mods equipped apparently. Yeah, we can't do anything with these. We can't interact with them. And I think that is because of the structure of the menu. The inputs aren't making it through. But I have focus, so like I wonder what that is. It's very curious. And then the other thing as well, like is the mod chips aren't saved across. So if I do it here, right? If I add some mods. And then I come back to this and I look at the mods. They're there. That's positive. Okay, so it translates across. But obviously I can't remove anything. And then I can't re-access it. Okay. Why might that be happening? So we're doing a test here, I think, when we press the input. Or is it just like how it works? Do we have anything in the input here? Handle selection, unhandled input event. If event is pressed, UI.handle selection. So either we're not getting through to this, or we don't have a selection, but I think it's more likely that we're just not making it through to this handled input, because there is a unhandled input happening other places. Yeah, we're just not even hitting that, which means that the input is being handled at that level, which is fine, but this. Something is taking the input. It's probably the save station. The save station has, I mean, not really though. The input isn't being set as handled here. So what's consuming the input? I guess technically, like, go to the mod chip menu. I don't think we're not making it to this function. So if I print the input here, right. See, we're getting the inputs. And we're hitting the breakpoint. Actually keep that. Okay. If we hit this one. We're still input. Okay, so here left mods equals none. Physical mods equals control. Alt. Shift. Okay, that's interesting. So it's definitely detecting the input. Oh, it's always detecting the input. That's really interesting. If current mod selected then? Yeah, I don't know. There's something weird here. Yeah, okay. Something is setting it to false. So, handle selection, set mod chip. I mean, this just goes to the fact that, like, I really need to look at the way that I'm handling my menus. Unequip mod slot if mod slot dot activated. Unequip get next mod slot. Create mod chip slot. On visibility changed. If visible in tree, first mod chop. If first mod, grab focus. Okay, that's fine. On mod slot unselected. I would say that this is getting called as well. I don't know. Getting set to null at the same time. I'm honestly not too sure about that. If it's the current mod select. Null. Okay. Right, but... Ever used assert? Complex scenarios like this can help with assert. I can't tell if you're like assert. Right? Keyword here is assert. Mod is equal to current mod. Like, what would I assert? That's the question. Right? Because that's just like... And if that's true, then it'll throw an error. Like, you know what I mean? Or am I confused? Is not like this, we're asserting that that's true, and if not, it does nothing? I actually don't know what you mean when you say that. Because, like, I know what that does, and I feel like it's just going to throw an error, right? When I do that, when we get to it. I don't know. It hits the breakpoint. What does this do? Asserts the condition is true. If the condition is true, if the condition is false, an error is generated. Why would I want that? This can be used for a strong form of global scope.push error for reporting errors for project developers or add-on users. An optional message can be shown. Like, I don't really know. Like, I do actually use this, and I can show you where. Is in the player state machine. I believe we do something here, assert false error string, state not found, so that I can tell myself when this is erroring out that this is why. Otherwise I forget. But like, that's only helpful if you know what's going wrong. You know what I mean? Anyway, but right now all I can tell is that, like, I'm unselecting and selecting at the same time, so therefore I don't have a selection, so that when I press the button, nothing happens. That's about all I can say with that. And I don't really know. This has got to do with, like, is in tree, because the way that I was controlling this is like if visible in tree, and then the rest just sort of like handled itself, and it works in the menu. Maybe I gotta ask that same question. If visible in tree. Or something. Well, no, nothing is consuming the input. Like the input's making its way here. Like I would say like more so that you actually don't want to, you want to say like if is in tree, is visible in tree. Right? Before you do any of this, because you don't really want to be running this input. Like anywhere else except when it's visible. Right. We got the handle selection. Yep. Great. Get out of here. And then we're here. We go to this one. We go to mods. And I mean, it's working. You can see there that it's got the selection, but when I press the Z key, nothing happens. Very interesting. It's also like printing the current mod selected, and then it's also handling, it's not hitting this breakpoint. I don't understand that. Because let's just go up one. That actually doesn't make any sense. Okay, but that I didn't press UI accept. What? Oh, it's checking that. Right, I've got the breakpoint on the check. Right. I'm an idiot. How can we tell what the keycode is? How can we tell like what the event name is? Pressed, input event key, keycode, physical keycode, key label. It's all the same, key Unicode, location, echo on. I don't know. That's helpful. Wait, rerun the game. Z is UI accept. It just skips it. It's not registering as a UI accept key. Z physical is a UI accept key. So why? Did I make a typo here or something? Like, what's going on actually? No, because we already established that it works in other menu contexts. But it doesn't work here. This is not... Ouch. You know what I mean? Like, we do hit the we hit it here, handle selection. I actually don't understand that. Let's have a look at, let's actually go back to printing the event. Okay. Rerun. Let's see what it says, because like it's interpreting one key press as an event, and the other is not. So, okay, so, oh my god. Clear this, clear this. We're gonna have at least one. Oh wait, no, we got errors? Unequipped mod is in side tree is true. I don't know what's going on. Keycode Z. Keycode Z. Press true, echo false. Z. Keycode 90. Input event key is that. Come back to this. There's no difference between them. Location unspecified, press false. Wait. Press false. Pressed true. It's not registering as a... Wait, so... What the heck? Is it press true, press false? Why isn't it getting the second one? It's not getting the second one. See how you get true, false, right? True, false. True, false. Get back to that other menu. I hate that I have to change screens for it. Take some damage, it's all good. Come back to this. Mods. It's just a false. Just a false. Just a false. Something's consuming that input. And I don't know what it is. What would be consuming that input and where? How can I tell? And why is it different between the two menus? Is it because one's paused? The game's not paused right now. So is the input being consumed by the player? It's possible. Facility, player. I reckon it's a player. Now Z is the jump key, right? Z is the jump key. Jump? This is just in input, right? Enter? No, actually, you know what? We're in idle. And we're gonna have on the ground state unhandled input. I guess in the tree, they're like, I reckon. Oh, well, actually, we're in the inactive state. Get input. Move. Is it the player state machine? What is consuming this? It won't be idle. We're in the inactive state. Hang on a second. Which just calls enter. It extends motion. Motion doesn't have an input state, I don't think. We have get input, which is not calling unhandled input or input. And then get next state from input. That's just a filtering thing. So, actually, what we are going to look at then is extends state. And then we've got unhandled input here. Extends node. State unhandled input. What about in the player state machine? Is it happening here? I don't know. Input. Physics process. Where's unhandled input? It's just... Wait, what? Dixon's state machine. I don't think it's the player. Unhandled input. Because when we make the character inactive, sorry, just as I'm working through this, when we make the character hold, set process, set physics process is all set to false. Can we set input? Set process input to false? We can also do that. Just as an extra, but I don't think it's the player. We just have to make sure we set it to true when we release the player. Set process input. If set to true, enables input processing. Note, if input is overridden, this will automatically enable before ready. Yeah, well, that's fine. Input processing is already enabled for GUI controls. Okay, I don't think it's the player, but we'll give it a go. It might be some other menu. So just to prove our menu issues, we've got this here. We can see true, false, true, false. And then we come here, we go to mods. We just see false. So I don't think it's the player consuming that. What else would be? Something is consuming our input here. We're not, like, you know, I'm not seeing input key at all here, but I wonder if there's a way that we can tell. Like, is there a high level query we can make that we can show in the debug? Show like what's actually taking the input? I don't know. What a curious issue. We could also pause at the save station. You get to set the save station to process mode always, and then pause the game when we get to this I mean, that could work. It's not going to look good, but it will give us an opportunity to test if the input consumption is happening in this node. There is an unhandled input here. But we can also just print out. So if we print the event here, we'll be able to see. It's going to see everything because it's going to be visible if visible in tree. So see how this does this. You can see like it's saying Z no. We only see false for this because the jump is taking it. I assume. You see. Event. I only see falses there. Okay. And then if we leave this room. Jeez, that thing went flying. Okay, just take it head on. Not here. True, true, true. False, false, false. Okay. It is to do with this. Okay, it's definitely... I think if we pause the game, we'll actually see like an improvement on this. Not the save station. Because otherwise we just see it here. So when we save game, if we like set pause, I don't actually know how that works anymore. What if we go... What happens when we enter in the in-game menu. Oh, is it just in the game state? Oh, loading screens, UI. What controls pause? Is it game state? Game state controls pause, right? No. Huh. Wait, what the hell? Project settings, finding files. Pause. Signal pause typing, add-ons. Secret menu. In-game menu, tween pause process. In-game menus and overlays. So here we're using the input event. If event.isAction pressed, and we can pause the game pretty much anywhere, anytime we want. Okay, so it's just saying pause game, which is like get tree.pause. We can just use that. I just wanted to check if that was like a game state thing. Well, it's not. So it's just get tree.paused equals a variable. Fine. So the save station can get tree paused equals true. and then when we exit the save station, not even when we release the player, I guess we can say that it's a false. And I guess that will work. I set the process to always, so it should still function as normal. We're about to find out. Mods. And now we can take the input. So it's something in this greater world that's causing that issue. And we've paused the game now, so the issue is potentially later on, like if we want things to be happening around the player, that they're not going to happen, right? Like if there's an animation, maybe there's an NPC or another character somewhere. I don't know, but like their process, they're going to stop moving, right? And do we want that to happen? Do we not want that to happen? I think it would be better if we figure out what was consuming that input and change the way that it's handling the input. I think I assumed that it's, well, I thought it was the player, but it's clearly not. And now we can move along like normal. I guess the test. Like, what is the test for jumping? The test for jumping happens on ground. In the idle state. This is all unhandled input. So why would it ever, like, get in the way of that? What else is checking? So there's two inputs. So if I go to project settings and just look for the input, filter by event Z, we have UI accept and jump. So what we would be looking for in code is whenever we're processing those two. So we want to check, I don't know how we're going to find in files, UI accept, and this will be littered all over the place. So the dialogue manager uses it. It could be the dialogue manager, honestly. The shop. is UI accept and it's is action pressed. The mod chip menu takes is action pressed. In-game menu inventory? Maybe no, but the inventory, the in-game menus and UI accept is action pressed. Is there a way that you can see what's consuming an input in Godot? I'm Googling. To find out what node is handling or consuming an input event, use input event with print get path. Check the GUI focus or override unhandled input. According to AI overview. Yeah, but I can't even find what's... Okay, let's go to the docs. Listening to player input. Sorry, I'm looking at the docs. For tuning, we could use variable directions. Our local variable. The direction, which is player's turn, yada yada yada. You can see and edit input actions, project settings, obviously. And this is just like moving when pressed up. If input dot is action pressed. What about jump? We didn't actually check for that. Check settings. No. Control Shift find. Wait, what's the name of the input? It's lowercase j. Well, states animation player play jump. Wall slide. If input dot is action press jump. That's just a check. I don't think that consumes the input. Yeah, I don't know. State unhandled input. Doubt. I doubt. Input event. An abstract base class for input events. See node input. Accumulate as text. Get action strength is action. Is cancelled is echo is match. Is pressed is released. Inherited by input event action, input event window, pressed strength event index. Contains a generic action which can be targeted from several types of input. Actions and their events can be set in the input map. Unlike the other input event subclass which maps to unique physical events, this virtual one is not emitted by the engine. This class is useful to emit actions manually. Interesting. Which were then received by to check physical event matches action. Input dot is event action pressed. Okay. Input event using inputs. I don't know. Returns the path to this directory. I don't think that's going to work. Is there anything in the debugger that can tell me what's taking an event or no? Like I just really want to know now. Like I have a way around it, but like I would like to know, because I would say that whatever is consuming the input probably should be set to unhandled input. And if it already is set to unhandled input, I'm just curious now. Debugger, evaluator, profiler, time inclusive, visual profiler, monitors, active maps, pipeline. Could it be something like the... Okay, so here's the thing. You go to a room where there's nothing except for the player. Okay, we can test this. Because the save station, right, it's pausing. Let's just stop it from doing that right now. Get tree paused. Get tree paused. Okay. Go back here. Okay. So now we can sort of say that, you know, this doesn't work. It's just, all we're getting is a false, right? But if we go to this room, there's nothing in here except for the player. And we go for the mods. And now it's working. So we know that it's not the player. It's not whatever's in this menu. There's something else. And I think it must be the shop. The shop is just consuming the input. It's got to be. There's a replicator shop. And I would say that it's consuming the input. If event is action pressed. I reckon that's going to be triggered. Get rid of everything else. So we're doing a in-game menu or mod ship menu. We're printing the event. And there's something else that prints the event off really regularly. And I think it is in the save station. Get rid of that. And here, I want to print event. At shop. Just for that. And then obviously that's nothing happening here. We go back around. To this, at shop, it's consuming the key. That doesn't matter for the player because the player is not, it's not polling. But if we go here, the shop is consuming the inputs. All the shop. At shop, at shop. At shop. Okay. I think. Get buy item. Like it's going into this. Like, so that is getting triggered like every single time. Is that crazy? Shouldn't work like that, right? Yeah, it is. What the fuck? So how does that not like fuck up every time? If not item selected, because there's no item selected, it just returns out. Okay, fine. How about if not visible in tree is visible in tree, return. Okay. Everything's working. Let's go down there and see if the shop still works. Okay, we'll save here. Let's walk over to the shop. I don't even know if I have money. Oh, I do have money. Oh, and it does trigger. It triggers because if not, if it's visible in tree is the right thing to call. Okay, we worked it out. There we go. Okay, so the input's fixed. That is what was causing the error. Interesting little bug. I do need to do some more research on menuing because like it's pretty messy. Like that really shouldn't happen and slow you down for half an hour. You know, the idea that you are just throwing away an input like that is, it's not great, but you know, it is what it is. We found it. I don't even know if this is like the best way to handle this. I just know that it works. To say that, you know, if this object isn't visible in tree, then don't process. I suppose technically you could actually set the input to be true or false. Like when you actually interact with it on interactable interacted, you could set input to be true on the canvas item or something like that. I suppose that would work too. But yeah, we're just polling it right now, which I guess is a way that we can do it. I don't know, man. It worked, so we won't worry about it too much. Okay, so we've got the mod menu working. We don't have a way to get out of it. We're not taking... One thing we should do with the save station is when we do make the save station visible, we need to actually create fast travel list on button pressed hide. I don't know how this is working right now. We just make it visible from here. When you save the game, save game, player dot position marker, save menu show. We can call a function on the save menu, and then we can get it to grab focus on the regenerate button. Something like that. It's probably better than this because, like, obviously we need it to do something more specific. There also the signal visible, but that's kind of messy. It has mixed results, so it's probably better, I think, to just create a function. Probably create fast travel list. Some problems with this script that needs to be moved off into a different script. But for now, let's just create like a show save menu, right? And here we can just say regen button dot grab focus. right? And obviously show. And here we do show save menu, and that gives us a way to interact with it without using the mouse, because we don't really want to focus. We don't want to use the mouse at all. I want to avoid that because, and now we can just go like this, and we can regenerate with the Z key and then come back out. What happens? Okay, we're set free, so that's fine. And then yeah, we can go into mods and we instantly have focus, and so that works really well. We can unequip the mods, which is exactly what you want, although some of this input is not that great. I don't think this should be a like a tab menu like this. I think this should be just like on the side. It's almost like you would have the tabs, but it's actually buttons. And it's none of it's animated right now. It kind of looks like trash, but whatever. And then if you hit fast travel, like obviously something else happens, but see, the mods are visible now. The mods should be always hidden at the end. Okay. Maybe for some stuff for next time, eh, guys? But this has been really fun. I gotta go to sleep because I'm tired as hell. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're on Twitch, give us a follow. Let's do a raid, shall we? Oh, there's not many people live tonight. Ooh. Does everyone here speak Spanish? Dino Cries? I guess we're going to Dino Cries. Sweet as. I hope this guy speaks English. His title's in English. I have done that before, a long time ago. Rated a Spanish speaking channel. Great creator, but not great for the viewers. But thanks for hanging out, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you all on Saturday for the community game night. All right, bye.